Welcome everybody from the Sparx Systems YouTube channel. It's great to have you join us today. Once again, we're continuing to look at our urban parking system, and the urban parking system has been developed and designed in Enterprise Architect by Sparx Systems. My name's Scott Hebbard. I'm joined by Steve McGuire, and today I think we're going to look at something a little bit different, which is we're going to have a look at the help panel and how you can get help within Enterprise Architect. So welcome, Stephen. How do we get help if we're new to Enterprise Architect and we want to learn a little bit more?
Thanks for the introduction, Scott. Always delighted to be here. And yes, the topic today is an interesting one. It's about how you get some help while you're modeling. And we're going to start on the start ribbon, and we can see that there are a number of other ribbons there. And the start ribbon's quite a long ribbon. It goes all the way from all windows right across to the end here to the help panel. So we're going to look at some of the things that are available. In particular, we're going to drop down this help menu here and look at the help system. We can see that it's divided up into a number of groups there: help system, resources, licensing, diagnostics, and readme and about me. So let's start with the open help system. Let's press that, and you can see now, I'll close some of these other windows. I had it open before, but let's do that. You can see now it's popped up in my browser, and it is a web-based information, and you can install that locally, which we'll talk about in a minute. But we've got a number of topics down here, if you like. We can go into something like modeling domains there, and you can see now that that takes us down another level, and the little breadcrumb has indicated that we're from the index, we're on model domains, and we can say, look, let's look at the requirements model, for example, and there is all this help here about how to manage requirements in Enterprise Architect. Lots of pictures that are giving you good information about, modeling user stories, for example. There we've got, user story, and we've got requirements documentation, charts and things there. But I can just move my way around this and say, well, actually, I'm interested in other model domains. Let's go into something here, which is user interaction and experience. So we'll look at that. And again, we've got information about that. So there's lots of good information in the tool generally about modeling with Enterprise Architect. But the focus of the tool is really on how to do things. So let's have a look at model fundamentals, for example. We've got models there, model elements, model diagrams. Time-aware modeling is an interesting one. The specification manager. Let's look at that there, and we can say the specification manager overview. But you notice, Scott, that there are headings here like access, and that you'll find that on most pages. It talks about the ribbon. So from the design ribbon, the package, the package panel, and then the specification view. So if we looked at that in Enterprise Architect, we could say, okay, we need to go to the design ribbon, the package panel, and the specification view. So the design ribbon, the package panel, and the specification view, and there it is there. So yep. It tells us exactly what to do. Let's just bring up that, open the help system again. It's opened up in another tab. We'll just close that one for a tick. And all of that information is there. And the other useful thing is that, I can explore things as well. Now, I heard something about, the schema composer. So, let me just type that in there, and we'll go there. And you can see it's doing some searching there for us. And there's a lot of information that it's going through. So it's going to take a couple of seconds to bring up that information about the schema.
So would you recommend that people perhaps have this open in a web browser, so as they're viewing some of the videos that we've recorded, if they want to understand a little bit more, like we've done requirements or a class diagram, and they go, yeah, how do I create a class diagram, that they can do a search and look up some resources and find out more?
Yeah, look, it's probably not bedtime reading, Scott, but I find it very useful to look through it, either when I'm focusing on a particular topic that I need to get information about. And even myself with, more than 24 years experience with the tool, there are still things that I need to find out about. I may have, they may have slipped my memory. They may be new features that I haven't used before. So not everyone's everyone's going to get some benefit from this. Not only the novice users, but experienced users and even people that might call themselves gurus. Now that's popped up the search results for the Schema Composer. It's got lots of other options here, but 181 matches in the user guide, but we've got websites and documents and all sorts of other things as well. So if I click on that, that will bring up the Schema Composer inside the help system, and I can look for that. So don't underestimate the search facility there. You can search for anything that you want to, and Enterprise Architect will locate your position. So let's go now and look at a couple of other things. We've got search help, so we can do that, and I can just simply search the help from that location, and that just brings up a window. That's a very similar function to what we just looked at with the search. So I can search for the item first, and that will bring up the help. So that's quite straightforward. Go to a particular topic. Well, I can just go to a particular topic in the help system that I'm looking for again, and that will take me to that topic. I'll see whether it just spelled modeling with a double L there, and I can launch that, and it's going to bring me up and into modeling there. We've got all these different modeling options there. So let's close that for a minute. Back to our help panel there. Explore online resources. So there are situations, Scott, where some corporates may not allow access to the internet in very, very controlled environments. The help system can be installed locally, the particular version that matches your installation, whether you're still using an earlier version or you're using the current version. That's there. But we've got a user forum and news. So let's click on that, and you can see that's going to pop up a forum where you can ask questions and get information and answers from a community of people. And again, it's divided up into a number of groups. We've got here, Sparx announcements there. That was announcing the latest version. We've got a general board, UML processes, automation there, and we've got information on the Pro Cloud server, which is the tool that, or the server that allows all sorts of integrations and cloud models to be distributed frequently.
I can see there's 20,000 topics under the general board, so I think there's years and years of user knowledge and expertise there that might be able to assist you.
Yeah, exactly. So help is not very far from your fingertips. If for some reason you can't find the help in the help system, or it's a specific modeling question that you might think that someone else might have an answer to, then yes, go to that. We've got request a feature. So at Sparx Systems, we're always looking for leads from users about features that might be useful to those, and we'll always consider them seriously. So if you can think of a feature that you think is going to be useful in your modeling that isn't already in the tool, then just you can fill that feature request out there, and you can see that will come up, and it's available there for you to put your feature in there. So a lot of different options there. I won't go through all of those, Scott, but you can see there's all sorts of other pieces there. Open the keyboard accelerator map. That's interesting. So this is going to give you, if you're the kind of person that uses the keyboard productively, this is going to give you the list of keyboard shortcuts that you can use.
Broken into categories. So,
broken into categories, into ribbons, things you can see there, the layout ribbon, and incredibly useful for productivity. I encourage people to start using the keyboard a lot.
And from time to time, you use some of those keyboard shortcuts for laying out elements and things like that. So if someone's new and they want to learn some of those keyboard shortcuts, they're all listed here for you. So
yeah, Scott, I did an interesting thing. I decided to put my mouse away for a morning and just see whether I could remember these things, and I made quite a lot of progress, but there were times when I definitely needed to look up this help keyboard accelerator map. So interesting thing to do. Then under here we've got open the example model. So this is a model that comes packaged with Enterprise Architect. I'm going to click on that now, and it's going to close the urban parking system model and bring up the example model. And so you can see that's changed now, and the example model's there. I could have opened that in a separate window if I wanted to. And the example model, it's slightly different from what we've been developing with the urban parking meter system, because the urban parking system is a case study, whereas this model has got a whole lot of very, very useful information, but it's divided into little groups of functionality or disciplines and things. For example, business modeling, we could go into that, look at business modeling and say, hey, we're really interested in a flow chart there, and we can, look at the flow chart. And it does have some information in text there about the particular element. So, requirement traces there as well. Kind of useful to show you aspects of diagramming.
It's nice to have hundreds of example diagrams that have already been built for you to help you on that learning journey.
Yeah, exactly, Scott. Let's just leave that one there and pull the urban parking meter system back into place. And let's look now at example model configure online help translation. I'm not going to look at this, Scott, but this is an incredible feature of the tool where we've got translation features inside the tool. So that's the topic for another video for sure. And we'll, come back to that. Licensing, register and manage your licenses. That pops up a window, and you can see that you can add keys there and look at your different license options as well there. So that's a useful window. Get hold of that. Check for updates. So, interesting one as well. That's going to go and check whether your model's up to date. You're currently using the latest public release. So it's telling me that I'm using version 17. So a useful thing there to make sure that you're on the latest version. And check for updates, view the license agreement, so you can read that at your own leisure. Ordering information, so that will bring up again how to order new versions of the tool. And README, so this is an interesting one. This is going to bring up the latest information about the release. And so if I drag that, it's popped up on another window. If I drag that onto the screen, you'll see here now that, there's a huge amount of information there about what things have changed. So, I might be interested in, for example, ribbon sets, and I can just search this quite easily. And if I look for ribbon set, I can look at that and I can see ribbon sets can be defined and linked to security groups to specify which ribbons and parts of a ribbon are available to specific users. So once you've looked at that feature, you might then want to go back to the help system and have a look at how that works. But this will give you a good list of, the things that you can look forward to.
Basically, the features are broken up into every single build, so you can see how Enterprise Architect has developed over time. Right. And it's a very long file as well, which also points out that Enterprise Architect has been going for quite a number of years.
It is, that's right, Scott. It is a long file, but it's all there, and helps you to look for something. Particularly if you've got people that might be in your organisation. Some people may have upgraded to a newer version, and you want to see whether those, that functionality is, existed in the version before or the build before. So it is broken up by build numbers there: 17.0, 1704, and we can go back and look at 1703. So that's a useful thing. Let's just move on from there a little bit. And the other thing is the About window, which just pops up and gives you the information about your registration keys, the current build that you're on, 1704, build 1704, 64-bit, and some registration information. This is licensed user myself, Stephen Maguire, company Sparx Services, and some information about the repository. So it's a native local SQLite database and the database version there. So incredibly useful things there. Scott, just a quick look at these other parts of the help system. The homepage takes you to the Sparx Systems homepage. Incredibly useful. From there you can launch into all the resources, for example, and that will bring up, all sorts of things like the video lectures, for example. And, you can look through those. Comprehensive information about, information modeling, meta models and technology, visualizations, all sorts of things there. If we go back again here to the libraries, Learning Center, download the library, manage libraries, a couple of options there, and a option to register your product key. So lots of information right at your fingertips, Scott, with the help. So you're never very far away from someone or some information that can help you be more productive and get things done in the tool, and ultimately help your organization or the endeavor that you're working on, which is, the game that we're all playing here.
Thanks, Stephen. I think it's great that there's so many free resources available. There's online communities that might be able to assist you. There's help files, there's videos, there's documentation, there's libraries. So it's really quite comprehensive. And especially if you're someone that's new to Enterprise Architect, there's certainly lots there to read to get you accustomed to some of the language tools and techniques within Enterprise Architect. But if they need more help, I'm sure they can reach out to you using the credentials listed in the description of this video below, either via your website or via LinkedIn, and you can always get some more help there. So I'd like to thank everyone for joining us today to learn a little bit about some of the help features within Enterprise Architect. As always, we encourage you to like, comment, and subscribe to the Sparx Systems YouTube channel, where once again there's hundreds of videos that are available for free to help you learn more about Sparx Systems tools, including Enterprise Architect. And you can follow along some of the videos for the urban parking system repository to see how we've built up this model from scratch. And there's quite literally hundreds of hours of really detailed information about how to build a comprehensive model. As always, thank you, Stephen, for your time and for your expertise. It's been great having you here today.
Delighted to be here, Scott.